Hello and welcome to the second video of my RIMWORLD series where I put my friends in the game. In the first video I pretty much just did the game setup, so where we're at right now is we just picked some berries to be harvested and some wood to be chopped. Now I don't know if we're gonna have enough food. We have a couple bushes set to be harvested over there, as well as 3 more there. I do notice now we have 4 bushes right there. We have 31 in stock. Now ideally we want to cook those into simple meals, and that's gonna make them last a lot longer. The nutrition value of berries is 0.05, and when a colonist eats, they will eat, I do believe, up to 1. I think we can take a look at our needs here and see under the food. Yeah, they eat up to 1 nutrition, so that would be roughly 20 berries, I think. Yeah, 20 berries to fill themselves all the way up, right? Am I thinking about that right? Yeah, I think I'm thinking about that right. Could be wrong there, but I know that you can take 10 berries and cook them into a meal. Meals have a nutrition value of 0.85, I think. So ideally, we are multiplying our nutrition value when we cook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start setting up a kind of rough area of where we're going to build our shelter at, because getting warm is also a high priority here. It's 41 degrees out right now. We want to be able to not get hypothermia throughout the night, and also lose that negative to our comfort for being cold. So I'm going to come into furniture and we're going to grab some sleeping spots, and these are going to help them. Well, they're required for them to sleep in, or else they will just collapse somewhere as soon as they get tired enough. So let's do something like, let's do a double spot here, then we'll do 2 single spots. This will be temporary, more or less. We're gonna assign these spots to Brian and Jenna. Then we'll let Aaron, Trina, Joe, and Allison decide on their spots. If we didn't assign these to just Jenna and Brian, then there's a chance that one of them would decide that they wanted to lay down in the double spot. That would screw everything up. So, okay, so next what we want to do is we're going to want to build either torches or a fire inside of our shelter to keep it warm. Now the torches don't give off as much heat as a fire does, a campfire. And we can cook with the campfire, so we're going to need this anyways. Now we have to be careful, because if the hut is too small, then the campfire is going to make the temperature inside too hot. So what will happen is they will be too cold outside and too hot inside. We don't want that. I'm using the vanilla expanded mods, and the stone campfire comes with one of those, which is really nice because it allows you to build a fire with the stone ring, which helps, just like in real life, it helps retain the heat and keep the fire burning longer, so it doesn't need to be refueled as often. So we're going to want to do that. Unfortunately, we don't have any ruined structures nearby that we can disassemble. We do way down here, we have a little bit, but this is made out of steel, not stone. In order to get stone blocks, we would have to research stone cutting and then make a stone cutting table. We don't have that researched yet, and we don't want to mess with that yet. So what is nice is that because we started on a stone road, we have this sandstone flagstone path here. So we can just rip this up and get blocks out of it. When I come into my flooring and use the remove flooring, how many do we need? We need 20 blocks. It says granite, but it'll allow us to select different blocks. I do believe we only get 2 back from these, so we need to bring up at least 10. Then there's a chance we're going to fail constructing it. So we want to get started constructing that right away, just in case we keep failing to make it because our skills are so low. What are you doing right now, Joe? He's going to harvest a berry bush. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take over the AI here, and we're going to manually tell Joe to prioritize doing this first. I'm going to unpause the game. Oh no, we're not getting blocks from that. Oh no, this is a disaster. I thought we would get some blocks out of that. Alright, well let's cancel that. So we're not able to get blocks from the flagstone path. So we might have to go with just a regular campfire. Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. Okay, well that's fine. So we are going to build the regular campfire. Let's go ahead and just build it right here for now, I think. I'm gonna have Joe focus on that. Ta-da! So now we are going to set up our cook simple meal bills. Just gonna do the single one for right now. We're gonna say do until you have X amount of things. And we're gonna say there's 6 of us. So let's go until we have enough for 2 for everyone. And then we will pause when satisfied and unpause once we get down to 7. Yeah, let's try that. 7. Leave the ingredients for everything. We will take the ingredient radius down. And what this controls is how far somebody will go looking for ingredients when they're cooking. That will prevent somebody from coming to cook because they see berries on the other side of the map or something. We want them to be carried back here first to increase the efficiency. We're going to have to cut down this tree as well because that's going to be in our way. And let's go ahead and start building our hut here. We're going to want a door. A couple doors probably. Let's do one here. One on the other side. Something like that will be fine, I think. We're gonna do our wooden walls. Something like this. This stone chunk is going to have to get moved. I'm going to hit the haul things to haul it, but we have to put a spot for them to haul it to. So we'll make a generic dump pile zone. We'll just throw it right there for now. These are going to have to be cut down too. They'll be cut down automatically during the construction, but I'm marking them ahead of time so that way somebody else does it instead of the person building the wall, hopefully. Joe gets started on this project. Got some construction failures here. Starting off with a 3 and rapidly rising. How's our health? Oh, we're getting hypothermia. That's not good. So that is probably the reason why he's getting more fails. What the hypothermia is doing is it's reducing his manipulation and his consciousness. And that is manipulating his ability to construct. If we come into our view information here, we can look down at his stats and see down underneath the work section his construction success chance. Now this is valued mostly on his construction skill, but it also takes into account his manipulation and his sight. Because he is shivering, it is hurting his ability to construct a little bit there. And if Joe is shivering, yeah, so is everybody else. Not good. And Allison starts cooking, so this is good at least, but I do believe we're gonna need more berries. Trina's bringing in 8. Jenna's bringing in another 9. We're gonna need more than that though. So we look at the current season. It is Jugist. The way that time works in RimWorld is it's there's 60 days in a year, I think. Yeah, 60 days in a year. A year is divided into 4 quadrums. Each quadrum has 15 days. And if you notice, they're play on the months of the seasons. So you have April, May, Jugist, September, and December. Always like that. It's really cool. So we are actually in the start of summer. So hopefully the temperature goes up some more. It's still only 10 in the morning. I'm hoping things get better, but what we should do probably right now. So we're going to have enough to make 5, 6, maybe 7 meals. So maybe enough to eat tonight. So what I'm going to start doing right now is I'm going to set up our first grow zone. And what we're going to be growing is rice. So we don't want to do too much. We don't want to spend too much time right now. So we're going to do something like a... Let's see. Let's do a 6 by... Let's do like a 6 by 6 area. Now when you select the grow zone, you can... It starts by default as potato plant. Potato plants are rugged, so they can grow in a lot of areas that other plants would have trouble. We can look at the information here and see that its fertility sensitivity is at 40%. That means 40% of its growing speed is going to come from the soil fertility, which makes it ideal for growing in bad soil and rough climates. It only has a 70% requirement for the fertility. And then also we can see that the growth time is 5.8 days, and that is at 100% growth. No matter what, when the sun goes down, they stop growing. So this actually translates more to something like 10 days, I think, or 12 days, somewhere around there, depending on the soil quality. So we want to ideally be off the map by that time. So we're going to go with rice instead. And the reason why is because not only does it have a higher fertility sensitivity, which means it's going to take advantage of this rich soil more, is that it only has a 3-day grow time, which is the shortest, I do believe. So we're going to choose rice. Also notice we have corn, and corn has the largest yield per plant. It also has 100% fertility sensitivity. However, it takes a very long time to grow. We definitely don't plan on being here for the... I don't even know if we would even be able to grow that in this type of environment, because we only have 10 days of growing, I think. Let's go back to our world here, our world map. This happens because I closed the game when I was done with the last episode. So when we look at our colony here and our terrain, yeah, we only have a 10-day growing period. So we can't even grow corn here. There might be a slight chance that we would be able to get it grown, but it's not even worth trying. So, all right. Aaron should get started on that. One little trick you can do if you're a new player is when they are stuck wandering like this, they're going to wander to the spot that they've decided to wander to before they look for another job. So if you select them ahead of time and you hit the R key to ready them for battle, and then bring them back out of that battle state, they'll immediately look for the next job. We do need more wood to complete our shelter, so this will help us get that wood. I'm going to go ahead and hit the fast forward button here. There's two modes of fast forward that you can take advantage of. I try not to use them too much because I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. So any experienced player will let you know that the biggest disasters tend to happen because they were set on the triple speed fast forward. You tend to get a little lazy with it, and something bad will happen that needs your attention, and because you're so used to just letting it sit on fast forward, you won't have time to realize what's happening and stop the game. Today I'm going to do a little bit of fast forward here. Okay, our field is almost done. And our hut is done, and we have roofed it as well. Now we can see outside it is 57 degrees. We are still suffering from hypothermia. Inside it's already up to 76 degrees. Now I think we're gonna have a problem here. I think that this hut is going to be too small for this campfire, so we'll have to see how this plays out. We can see how the roof was built by hitting our toggle visibility of roofs. See the area where they built it. I'm going to also come in and mark this as home zone so that it will be repaired and cleaned. Alright, so our next objective is going to be focusing on getting more food and building some bows. So what I'm going to do is place down a crafting spot. This is just designating a spot where we're going to craft from. And I'm going to queue up some recurve bows. You're going to want 6 of those. And also taking a glance at everybody's skills. Trina starts off with a crafting of 6. We have some 4s as well. It's not that big of a deal, so we won't restrict who does it, but I am going to set the ingredient radius down because that's always just a good practice to do to prevent anybody from going way out of the way. Leave everything else as is. And now let's look for some more berries to pick. So I am going to go ahead and harvest this one and these 4 here. Look at this guy. Mega Wolverine. Wow. There's 8.11 DPS. That's crazy. With 32% armor penetration. Compared to our highest melee fighter right now, Aaron. His melee DPS is only 2.62. Should also grab some medicine eventually. Let's wait until we get more food coming in. These wild heal roots can be harvested for herbal medicine. Hello, moose. Is there any more berries nearby? Oh, there's some down here. Oh, hello, Arctic Coyote. Looks like he is hurt. Not very badly though, he'll be fine. That is because he just killed and ate a hare. I'm gonna go ahead and put those on harvest down there as well. They're not too far away from us. I really hope this guy doesn't get hungry and decide that we're the easiest target near him. It'd be very bad. Is he strictly a carnivore? Well, he just ate a raccoon, so he shouldn't be hungry. I don't know how much food these guys require, how often they eat. Looks like we have our first minor break risk. So I'm going to go ahead and take this chance to explain how the needs tab works for new players. So this is what I call when we're looking into the mind of somebody. So I'm going to take a look at Aaron's mind here. So these are the pluses and minuses that are happening to his mood. Now the first little black dash here dictates whether or not he is eligible for a minor mental breakdown, which he is right now. When he has every second that he spends in this area, he has a chance to have that minor breakdown, and that can be things such as a sad wandering, locking himself in his room. Well, he doesn't have a room right now, but just little annoying things that will make it so that you don't have control over him, and he's not going to listen to his priorities until he's done with his mental break. Now, if it gets down below the second mark here, then he's eligible for an extreme break, or a major break, sorry. And those can be a lot worse. Those can be things like attacking other colonists and things like that. So that is very worrisome. And then the last one is extreme break, which I think is stuff like leaving the colony and things like that. Now, these mood bonuses and penalties can also come from these other portions of his mind here. You can see food at the top. Food and rest are kind of special, because if food runs all the way out, then he'll become malnourished, and then the more malnourished he becomes, the weaker he becomes, and the more his stats are hurt, which makes it more difficult to do anything, and then eventually they will die. Rest as well is kind of special, because if that runs out completely, it's just a matter of time before they pass out where they're standing. Other than that, if they go below the first dash, they get a negative thought. You can see right now he has a negative thought from being below the first dash for food, and we can see that reflected here, hungry. So he's getting a negative 6 to his mood from being hungry. If it went under the second dash, then it'd be a more extreme version of that. And rest works the same way. Recreation, on the other hand, it has 2 negative dashes, but it also has positive ones. So he can get positive mood bonuses from having his recreation filled. Beauty is how beautiful the environment is around him, and this has negative and positive dashes as well. We can see the values of the beauty around him by hitting our T key, or our beauty, what is it called exactly? Our beauty display toggle. So using that, we can see that the beauty is negative 0.7, and you can see the values of each individual square in here being -1. Outside you can see more. The reason why it is less in here is because this is now considered a room, so he won't care about the beauty outside of the room while he's in here. We see all these stone chunks are very ugly, so we might want to consider moving these kind of away from our hut here in the future. Other aspects we have is comfort, and that has to do with sitting in chairs and the comfort of his bed and stuff. This has a couple negative dashes and a bunch of positive ones. Then we have outdoors, which I believe is only negative dashes involved, and this will slowly go down the more time that they spend indoors, and this represents kind of like cabin fever and things like that. So let's look here. So he has a good opinion of his wife. He wants to sleep with his wife. He is sweaty. Yeah, so this is an issue already. And that is because it is 82 degrees inside of here with this fire going. So we should probably fix that immediately. Unsightly environment, that's from the beauty. He's in some minor pain. If we switch over to his health tab, we can see that his surgery scar causes him 4% pain, which gives him a negative thought there. Also, his recreation's not filled. He's naked and he's hungry, so he does like the spacious interior in here, though. So that's kind of nice, but we are gonna have to make it bigger because it's too hot. So another thing that we could do is we could remove one section of the roof. That would help the heat escape. Although I'm not certain if that will make this not count as a indoors anymore, and then they would get a penalty for sleeping outside. I'm not sure how that works. I'm going to try that actually. So I'm going to come into my zone tools and I'm going to grab the remove roof area. I'm going to put one right there. And we'll see how that works if we can't negotiate the temperature to a reasonable value by removing one part of roofing here. Okay, we can see that the temperature is dropping. Still counting as a room, it just says unroofed 1. Ooh, I don't know. It's still floating kind of high. It is 60 outdoors now, though. Still a little hot in here. So let's go ahead and remove a second tile and see what happens. Brian's joking about tailors, apparently. It's starting to get dark out. Another harvest botched. Alrighty, so we have 5 meals for in the morning. That's not enough, but we do have enough left over to cook another one. So we don't have to worry about eating in the morning, I don't think. We still have some more harvesting to finish up over here. And Trina's still bringing back 5 berries. I think the next thing that we will work on, depending on how this temperature situation goes, we might want to just make our hut a little bigger. Wow, the temperature is still not wanting to go down even with 2 pieces of unroofed. So I do believe we are going to have to make this bigger. Now this area right here is marsh. I don't know if we can build on this. We cannot build on the marsh area. So we're going to have to get a little weird with it. Maybe what we will do is just make it a little longer. Something like this. That will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 extra. I don't know if that's going to make a big enough difference. It's about to just play it by ear. I'm going to give a chopping wood order here, because we do need more wood, especially to create bows. And we're going to go ahead and put the game on fast forward for a little bit. Now it looks like Jenna and Joe are both relaxing by the fire, and we can come into their needs tab and we can see their recreation slowly filling up. Now they're going to gain a tolerance from this type of recreation, so we will have to build them a hoopstone ring or something so that they have a little variation. And it is still too hot in here. 83 degrees. If we look at what they're comfortable with, they're only comfortable up to 79. Now I wonder if they're getting the outdoors. Doesn't look like it. So maybe what we will do for right now is remove yet another piece and have Joe prioritize that real quick. Sorry, Joe, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Hopefully this will help the temperature a little bit. No, still doesn't want to go down. That is interesting. Guess these fires burn really hot. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward a little bit here, especially while they're sleeping. And you can see the little movements gave a disturbed sleep debuff that stacks as well. So this is not an ideal situation. Hopefully we can set up some rooms, but I'm not even sure I want to focus on setting up rooms before we can just focus on getting out of here. Oh, what was that? I think that was somebody getting attacked. Oh yeah. Looks like the Mega Wolverine just killed the koala. Why is there a koala up here? That is very strange. Or maybe it was this Arctic coyote killing the squirrel. This is a slightly terrifying environment that we're in here, but we'll take care of that shortly. Everybody has their morning meal, and we are going to have to get more berries. We don't have enough to eat later on today. Our rice has barely grown, only 15%. That's not good. So let's check around and see where there's some more berries we can gather. There's one bush here. I guess we'll take that. Yeah, this is not good. Oh, here we go. Got a mother lode down here. Let's go ahead and harvest those guys up. It's a little bit of a walk, but we're going to have to take it. And this guy will be on the way as well. I'm trying to avoid not just doing a huge harvest area and having them go way out of their way for one berry bush, you know. So what is ideal is having clusters like this, because hopefully what will happen is Aaron will come down here and just harvest them all and leave them on the ground for somebody else to come in and pick them all up. Just being more efficient with our time. And so I do not believe that this is going to make that big of a difference in the temperature, but we'll have to see here if Joe can actually get it done here. Let's take a look at our health. Health is all good right now. Trina's working on the first bow. Why is Trina and Joe talking about using razors? What do you use a razor on, Joe? I know you can't grow facial hair. Alright, so we're going to want to deconstruct this. We're probably going to need some more wood as well, but I'm going to let them work on getting these berries first. Here comes Jenna with 6 berries. The temperature in here still looks like it's too high, but it looks like it wants to go down. Let's go ahead and let's double up this remove roof area and have Brian prioritize it. Now we have a huge hole. I would expect the temperature to come down now, and it's still not. I wonder how hot it would get if I would have left it burn without any holes in the roof. What happens if we make a hole directly above it? Still not having that big of an effect. Alrighty, well, I think this is a good spot to stop this episode. And I guess in the next one, what I'm going to be doing is looking to fix this situation a little more. Maybe remove some more tiles and see if that can help at all with the temperature issue here. And also, we're going to have to figure out our food situation some more. Trina is almost completed with the first bow, so we will be able to do some hunting. However, I am not sure. I kind of want to wait until we have a few bows so that we can hunt this coyote here. The problem with hunting the small game is we're just getting that much closer to running out of things for the coyotes and wolf and mega wolverine to eat. Actually, where did the mega wolverine go? Oh, he's still here. So I definitely don't want to compete with him, although I would think he would want to eat these caribou before he ate us. There's some more berry bushes up there by him. Might have to go for those. There's also a nice cluster right here. Another nice one down here. Those are kind of far away, but I think it's going to be worth it. And then we might want to grab some of these wild heal roots as well, just in case we need some medicine to help us out. Alrighty. And then in the next video, beyond working on food and getting some hunting, we want to start making clothes and bedrolls so that we can plan on where we are going to be traveling to on the world map here. I'll see you in the next one. And thank you.